So hello everyone in the 5 continents and welcome to another edition of our international meetings. I'm going to share my screen and you can see what we are going to do. Well, thank you 2024. 24 was a wonderful year. We had so many guests from different countries, but it's time to start 2025. So thanks to everyone in the 5 continents. Today is our 127th International English Online Meeting. All the videos, you can find them in our YouTube channel. Who are our guest speakers in 2025? Dear Mónica, Raj, Luis, and everyone else. Well, we will have professors from MEX TESOL this month on February 23rd. Then on March 16th, our good friend from Serbia, Jovana Sivovic, I guess that's the way it is pronounced. Then Tina Afrosa from Bangladesh on April 20th. Then the guest speakers from Panama TESOL on May 18th. Then from Australia, James Swissler. He will be talking to us on June the 8th. Then EquaTESOL professors from Ecuador on June 22nd. Guest speakers from ELTA Honduras TESOL on July the 20th. Beta TESOL from Bolivia professors on August the 24th. Puerto Rico TESOL professors, my goodness, on September 22nd. Marcela Burgos from Argentina on October the 5th. And finally, Asocopi Colombia teachers on December the 7th. So I have to thank Gracia from Honduras. She helped me to contact some of these professors. Well, who is our speaker today? Our good friend, Mónica Rodriguez Salvo from Argentina. Something about Mónica. She is a graduate teacher of English and a sworn public translator. She holds a postgraduate degree in human resources management by Universidad de Belgrano and is a certified and accredited Neurolanguage Coach. She's also a mindfulness practitioner, graduated from University of California, UCLA, and holds a diploma in social and emotional learning from San Diego University. Oh, I love your family, dear Mónica. Beautiful photograph. What else can we say? Yeah, let me, okay. She currently runs her own educational institution inspired Consultora Educativa, reaching out to hundreds of students and teachers around the world. As an international speaker, she has presented extensively in Argentina, Uruguay, Chile, Colombia, Brazil, IATEFL UK, Peru, Germany, TESOL France, TESOL Spain, ASCD United States with plenary, semi-plenary, and workshop sessions. She has authored 3 social and emotional learning sections and activities for different levels and books. She's a guest professor at Universidad de San Andrés, Argentina, and teacher of the social emotional learning module at Singularidade Institute, Brazil. And the most important, she's a great human being, a wonderful friend, and an excellent human being. Thank you so much, dear Mónica Rodriguez, for giving us always part of your time. So the screen is all yours, dear Mónica.
Thank you, Jaime, once again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is one based on Jaime's passion and effort to, bring us all together on Sundays to learn and to share and to grow. So thank you so much, Jaime, for all the efforts that you invest in building this community. You know me, probably many of you already know me. I do believe in the power of being grateful. And I do believe, as I will share today, in the power of recognition, in the power of praising, in the power of letting people know when they are making a good contribution, when they are changing something, when they are change makers. And I do believe that Jaime, with no interest at all, is a change maker. So thank you, Jaime, for everything you do. for inviting me once again. So let's get started. So I wanted to invite you. So you will have to tell me in the chat whether you like this idea or not. This is something that I have not yet discussed with Jaime. So Jaime will be surprised as well. So I thought about this. I thought about like taking the first part of our time together in this session to share some ideas, to share some practical tools that you can use as teachers in the classroom. My presentation will be about affective neuroscience. You know that I am a specialist on emotions and I love the world of emotions, but today I would like to share some ideas from that perspective. And I thought about having like maybe 20 minutes of ideas, tools, and so on, and then open up a discussion with all of you so that we can build ideas together, kind of a big round table where you can ask questions, where we can think together about different strategies and so on. Because I think that in many cases, we speakers have a lot to share, but it's important to listen to your needs so that we cater to those needs, because this is precisely what I'm always inviting you teachers to do with students, right? So why not practicing a little bit here? Do you like this idea? So if you agree, type a big yes in the chat, if you're okay. And so we can split our time together into me first sharing some concepts, authors, ideas, and so on. And then you can share some questions and we can build together, which is what I like, right? Collaborative learning, basically. So what do you think about that? Yes? Great. Let's do it. So let me start sharing my screen. So I have to share my, so thank you so much, everyone, for being here once again. And I want to start with a beautiful concept, a beautiful idea that I learned from Africa, right? And this is the concept of sawabona.
Oh.
Sawabona in an African dialect means I see you. So I would like to open up this space by letting you know, my dear colleagues from around the world, that I see you and that I expect this time together to be a space for growth, for reflection, where we can see each other. And the reason why I want to start sharing this idea with all of you is because when we truly teachers, not only English teachers, as I always invite you to, but educators, it's this idea of connection, right? It's this idea of being worthy. And our students, if there is one thing they need, of course, they need to learn English, and we are experts at that. We are passionate at that. But if there is one thing they need, is they need to be seen. They need to be heard. They need to be taken into consideration. They need to be part of the way we teach. We have so many technical names and strategies for this: student-centered teaching, student-centeredness, you name it. But the idea is we need to become, as humans, aware of the importance of seeing, truly seeing each other, right? I don't know if you've watched this beautiful film where precisely this phrase is used all the time, Avatar. It's an old film already, but I love the film and I love many of the concepts because of the connection with nature and everything. But they constantly also use this phrase. And whenever they want the other person to know, they look at each other and they say, I see you. And they use this phrase also to share understanding, you know, of another person's idea. Active listening, you know, being in presence for other humans around us. We teachers have the magnificent opportunity of sharing a lot of our time with students. We need to make them feel seen and listened to, right? So this is my invitation. In this case, we are all colleagues. We are all learning together here as teachers. So the invitation will be here in this case for all of us to see each other, right? With everything that that means. So that's my first invitation. What will happen today? I would like to share with you 3 of my favorite authors, 5 practical tools. Maybe it's going to be 6 because I was just last minute adding a couple of things. So maybe a little bit more than 5 practical tools and 2 theories of learning that I think could be interesting for all of you, of course, to explore later. All right. So we will talk about a little bit of agency, the social brain, and some other ideas that I prepared for all of you. All right. So give me just 1 second. I want to open the chat so that I can read you and I can see you precisely, even if I cannot see all of your faces. We talk about the importance of social and emotional learning. This has been part of the Sustainable Development Goals by United Nations. We are pretty much all familiar with the idea of Sustainable Development Goals. And of course, we are focusing as English teachers, as educators, on goal number 4, which is quality education. Within that, this is my first recommendation today. UNESCO created this wonderful book. I'm trying to see if I find it, but it's not here in front of me. It's a 300 pages book, which is called Rethinking Learning, a review on social and emotional learning for education systems. It was released in 2020. It is free to be downloaded, so you can Google it. And these are some of the introductory ideas to this booklets, which is a compilation of global research on the importance of affection, on the importance of social development, of emotional capacities in the classroom, all aimed to this goal number 4, which is quality education. So this is one of the first introductory ideas of why we need to talk about this in education. And this is another idea that also appears at the introductory space there, where we have a little bit of a definition of what social and emotional learning or social and emotional capacities are. So they focus on this idea of navigating emotions, mindful engagement, and exhibiting, that is showing pro-social behavior, right? Based on empathy, of course, for human flourishing towards a peaceful and sustainable planet. Why is it that I'm bringing these ideas to open up this session? Because sometimes we have so many things to do that we have a tendency to forget what we are really doing with our students every single day. And this is not something that you will see on the surface of teaching. This is something that is happening if you dive deeper into the impact of what we do. That goes far beyond teaching verbs and grammars and structures and functions, which of course we do it very well because we're specialists in that, and that is our passion. So that's the first recommendation. If you want to go and download this resource, it's quite long. It's a 300 pages long document with loads of research on what I want to focus today, that is the neuroscience part of it, okay? So just a reminder of the first author that I want to bring into our shared table today, Dr. Mark Brackett. You have probably listened to me mentioning him many times. This is just a reminder on one of the most important aspects of the connection between emotions and social capacities and learning, because that's what I will try to bring today into our discussion, which is emotional regulation. So just a reminder for those that are joining us today, that emotional regulation is not about blocking, controlling our feelings, our emotions. We need to remember that emotions, as Dr. Mark Brackett says, emotions are information, and they are very, 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 very valuable information. So why is it that emotional regulation is important in our life and in education? Because that is the magic wand that will allow us to think clearly, to make better decisions, to tap into creativity, and to manifest positive relationships with other people and increase our well-being. So I had the pleasure of meeting finally Dr. Mark Brackett after sharing all the actions that he does with the ruler approach from the University of Yale in United States. So I had the chance of meeting him last year. It was fantastic. And I want to share something else that I have approached for the last 2 years with the schools that I work with. And this tool, so this is tool number 1 that I will share with you, is the charter. So probably if you've listened to me before, you've listened to me saying a lot about the importance of agency in the classroom, of empowering our students to make decisions, about the importance of giving our students voice and choice. So I've highlighted forever the importance of agreements with kids in the classroom and outside the classroom, all right? With our nephews, with our families, with our little friends, with our families, even if they are grown-ups. Agreements are essential. So type a big yes in the chat if you struggle with students' discipline in the classroom. Does anyone have some issues related to misbehavior? Probably students that, you know, are like overwhelmed and their emotional regulation is quite poor. Setting limits. Type a big yes in the chat if you feel identified with these things. Probably same as me. I work with adults as well. And boundaries and limits are always an issue, right? Okay, the charter is a great tool for this. What's a charter? It's basically an agreement that we come with students, a collaborative document that will help us establish supportive and productive rules, let's say, but they are created together with students, okay? So each group, with each of your groups, you will have one separate charter, one separate agreement. Why? Because all our students, all our groups are different. They are made up of different human beings. So you need to come to different agreements, because the charter is going to contain what are those things that make us feel good for learning, and which are those things that are non-acceptable for our group, our students, and I, our students and the teachers all together, to improve the climate, to create a positive environment, a nourishing environment for learning. Let me give you some examples, because then you can create your own and you can adapt this idea and shape it into something that is meaningful for you. So the charter can have the values that are important for you and your students. Have a look at the one that is with the brownish background. What are the values? If you can read it, the values are spirited, united, respected. And then you have a lot of phrases and a lot of post-its. The post-its have been sticked by students, where they are sharing ideas about what does it mean for this group to be respected, for example. So I will give you another example that is not in the pictures, but respect is a value that in general comes up. You know, you can imagine for 1,000 different reasons. So respect is a value that comes up a lot in the charter. So I was working with a school here in Argentina, and in 5th grade, respect came up, of course, as a value, as in this image that you're seeing. And so you need to establish with your students, what are those actions that show respect for others, for this group? Why it's important to do it for each specific group of students? Because in this 5th grade respect value-driven charter, they had a lot of issues with some students that were misbehaving and that showed a lot of disrespect, not only with the teacher, but with the fellow students. So we went very specifically into what are the actions that are acceptable in terms of respect, and what are the actions that for this specific group are non-acceptable, meaning non-negotiable. Okay, so when you finish your charter, the charter needs to be on the wall of your classroom. It needs to be visible, because the charter is the agreement where you will refer back every time that students get off track in any of the aspects of the charter. Okay, let me share some more examples, because you can adapt it and create it your way. So in this one, our classroom charter, as you can see, students draw themselves because the teacher wanted students to be represented. But this was, as you can see, for very young students. So the text was typed by the teacher, but students who don't yet read or write could be there through their drawings and their portraits of themselves. The one on the right is a different type of charter. This is more text, okay? And as you can see, the teacher with the students, they wrote together the different aspects of the charter, the agreement, and all students signed at the bottom of the document. And of course, this is going to be visible on the walls of your classrooms. So this is a very useful tool. It's a very useful reminder later, but first, the act of the agreement with the students is really very, very important, okay? So the charter is the first tool that I wanted to share with you. Let me just move on. Okay, second author, another of my favorites, Dr. Mary Imodino-Young. She's a researcher. She's a psychologist. She's a specialist in education. She's done extensive research with Dr. Damasio. So probably you have also heard about Dr. Damasio. I had the chance of meeting her also last year with my dear friend Lucrecia Pratgay and Belén at this congress that we were talking about at the beginning today. And I wanted to share this idea on the connection between cognition and emotion. You have said, and you have probably heard a lot about the brain and the heart working separately. This is not true from the perspective of neuroscience. Our cognition and our emotion is constantly working together and weaving meaning into what we learn. So I have this image of this beautiful sunset, and I wanted to bring it because it's a very clear reminder of how we humans understand the world. When we have the possibility of being and seeing this beautiful sunset, in general, we are in awe, right? We are kind of overwhelmed by the power of nature, by the beauty of nature. And Dr. Merin Mordino-Young says that whatever we are having an emotion about, you are thinking. And whatever you are thinking about, you are learning. So let's think together about this beautiful landscape, about these beautiful sunsets that I have just shared with you. Let me just play the video again because I love it. And this is a beautiful sunset that I had the possibility of watching and enjoying in my last holidays. There are so many things, so many facts that need to happen together for a beautiful sunset like this one to happen. There are so many cognitive aspects that we can learn about the sunset. Why is it that we have this idea that the sun goes down? What happens with the earth rotating around the sun? What are the astronomical aspects that need to happen? How is it that I can see this beautiful sunset today, but the rest of my 8-day holiday, I could never see this beautiful sunset again because it was cloudy, because the weather conditions were not the same. What makes it unique? This is my brain, my thinking, my cognition. But what triggers the curiosity to learn about all these facts is the emotion that this sunset sparked within me, you know, like being in awe, like the curiosity to understand how can this magic happen. See my point? So in terms of learning, the first thing that needs to be ignited is the emotion. If we do not ignite an emotion behind the cognitive information, if you do not teach your students what magic is happening when you can use the third conditional to express your view of the world, your students will never feel interested about the third conditional only from a cognitive perspective. Do you follow me? That's why Dr. Mary Mordino-Young, after many, many years of research, concludes that whatever you are having an emotion about, you will be able to learn. And this is what is called affective neuroscience, right? Because the experience of thinking, the experience of feeling is what drives you. And I'm using very intentionally the verb drives you to make and build knowledge. So cognition and emotion are like two different dimensions of the same thing. This beauty is by nature, right? There's so many things going on in terms of facts and geography and astronomy and weather conditions and so many things you can learn which are factual. But that was triggered by my curiosity about what happens in a beautiful sunset like this one. So it's a combination, right? It's the science and then it's what we feel about this. So this was my second author. And now a little activity. This is very simple. And this is something that I always say because, you know, we always discuss about how can we apply this knowledge in the classroom, all right? We have our textbooks, we have our platforms in many cases. We English teachers have a vast array of resources, right, to teach. How is it that we teach affection? How is it that we teach the passion for learning? How is it that we teach about the social brain, about living better with others, about empathy as a driver for life? And I always say it's the micro doses, micro learning. What do I mean by this? We never have time. This is a fact for all English teachers. Time is never enough. So we really need to go into micro learning. 10, 15 minutes activities every single week where we have a reflection with students about, for example, age or age. Helpful or hurtful? Is this helpful or is this hurtful? Is this helpful in terms of being better friends with your classmates, with other kids, or is it hurtful? Is this helpful in terms of how you learn better, or is it hurtful? Do our students have a clear notion of what something hurtful or helpful stands for? Do they really know? Because that's where the teaching opportunity also comes. These are very simple conversations on the surface, but are very complex ones if you go and you dive deeper. So how about having conversations with our students about age or age? Again, simple, short, concrete tools repeated over time is what makes the micro-learning effective. Okay? In our textbooks nowadays, we have a lot of opportunities, a lot of activities that have to do with collaboration, with project-based development, with thinking about diversity, with embracing cultural differences. All those activities are great triggers for these type of conversations. So remember the micro doses. Do it every single week, a short period of time, right? But consistently over time will create an impact. I will skip this one. Okay, and now we have a game. Are you ready to play a game? Yes? Who is ready to play a game? Are you still there? Write to me in the chat. Because if not, I don't know if everyone is still participating, engaged. Yes.
Yes, we are ready.
Yes, I'm ready. Great. Okay. Thank you. So this is what we will do. I will show you an image and you will have to type in the chat what you see. It is as simple as that. Okay. One image and you go and share with me what you see. This is your image number 1. What do you see? I have to be honest and share with you that the first time I saw this image, I saw nothing. I just saw black and white spots all over the place. That was all I saw the first time I saw this image. Okay, so we've got, hi, Mary. I didn't see you joining. Thank you for being here, my beloved Mary. Mary Scholl. Okay, so Mary sees a zebra, a person with a big hat. Isabel, animals in the forest. Cool. All right. We continue now. I will show you image number 2. Islands. Goose is islands. All right. So I will show you image number 2. And then I will go back to this one. Okay. And Mary's is a dark room. Raoul, trees. Okay. Look at this image number 2. Have a look. This is image number 2. A bee. And now I will go back to our original image. So what do you see now? Probably in most of the cases, you will now see the bee, because in fact, the image is exactly the same. It's the same image, okay? But in black and white contrast. So I'm showing this because I am about to introduce my third author today, which is Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett. Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett discovered that our brain works based on 2 principles. The principle one is our brain works based on predictions and anticipation. What I did with the B is I simply created a new memory in your brains. Okay? When you first saw the image in black and white, the memory of the bee had not been created yet. I induced you into creating this memory of the bee. Are you with me? Yes? Say yes in the chat if you can follow this, because it's a little bit complicated to explain. So our brain works based on memory and anticipation. I will give you a very clear example for this. Assessment. In most of the cases, our students, whenever they hear the word test, they suffer, right? They start feeling bad, they get anxious, they get a stomachache, they get a headache. They have a bad time whenever they hear the word test. Why? Because for most of us, our history of experiences with test, our memories for test experiences are not positive. So we transfer this into the future. This is going to anticipation, okay? Prediction and anticipation. So we transfer this into the future. But there is good news, my dear teachers. And the good news is we can change those predictions. And we, teachers, are great change makers. We are great change agents to change these predictions in our students' brain. What would happen if we create a positive atmosphere for test? What would happen if we actively teach our students what happens in our brains and change the memories, my dear teachers? The same as I changed your memories with the B, all right? So my idea here is we need to be very careful on the type of memories that we craft in our students' brains and in our own brains as teachers, okay? So be careful on the B's that we create in our students' minds. But we can be a positive agent for change, all right? And that can be developed through trust. That can be developed through empathy. That can be developed through teaching our students to embrace the upwaves of life, basically, which are the different ups and downs of learning, if you want, at the same time. Lisa Feldman Barrett, my favorite book is this one I'm sharing with you, 7.5 Lessons About the Brain. Social brain. Now, this is the last part, and then I will stop and you will speak and you will share your questions and so on. A couple of seconds for you to read about this concept, which I love. Sonder. So this is a basis, the foundational stone for empathy. Sonder, the realization that we all live in a very complex world, that we might appear to be doing something, but there is a whole lot going on inside. So the message here is get to know thy students. Get to know your students, get to know about their struggles, about their difficulties, about their glimmers, about their strengths, about who they are in the world. Because remember, as Dr. Mary Mordino Young says, meaning making in teaching is essential. And you can only create a meaningful learning experience if you connect whatever you are trying to teach with who your students are, whatever they are interested in, whatever they need in the world, whatever they advocate for. When you connect those two aspects, meaningful, deep learning will happen naturally, and intrinsic motivation will be fostered. This is another tool I wanted to share with you. Solar, because we are talking about the social brain. And one of the most important challenges that we humans have is active listening, isn't it? We are constantly just listening to reply instead of listening to understand another person's perspective. We need to help our students advocate for embracing differences. I know that the world at this moment looks like a somber place for this, for many political different reasons that we will not discuss now. But we teachers still have the opportunity to advocate for our students to become open-minded, embracing the tool to practice that. So the solar stands for S. If you are having a conversation with a student or with someone, especially a difficult conversation, sit square, meaning don't do anything else. Don't look at your phone. Just be in presence with the other person, with the other student. Let's imagine that you are having a reading comprehension on the textbook about different cultures. And there are some students in your class that cannot understand this because they have never lived the experience of having such different cultures around them. And they are having a discussion on what is right and what is wrong about different cultures, which is the wrong type of discussion, right? Because there's nothing right or wrong about that, as there is nothing right or wrong about emotions. So you can invite your students to sit in pairs and practice giving their opinions through the solar paired sharing model. So S, sit square, in presence, listening to the other person, in silence, connecting to what the other person is saying. Oh, open, trying to judging immediately what the other person is saying. L, active listening. Listen through leaning in. Person to finish so that you jump with your own ideas, or you can sit and listen like this. Leaning in, even physically leaning in to what the other person is sharing with you, not in judging. E, eye to eye, eye contact. R, repeat, reflect, or rephrase. Paraphrasing is a great tool to reduce misunderstanding. Phrases like, what I hear is that you like this, you don't like this culture because they look very different to you. And the other person has the opportunity of saying yes or saying no. That is not what I mean. That is not what I want to say. So the repetition, the reflection, the rephrasing or paraphrasing is helping us with clarity. So that you invite your students to have this. This is an inspiration from this wonderful book by Michelle Borba. This is our fourth author of the day. This is a great book I do recommend. It is called Thrivers. Okay, so that's another recommendation for today. And I guess that I will stop there and I will stop sharing so that we open up discussion and questions. What do you think, Jaime?
I'm excited, I'm thrilled, I feel that I know nothing, as usual.
I love it.
About
this is exactly what we should feel.
right.
This is a type of curiosity that we should spark in our students. This
So
feeling that, oh, there's so much to learn.
So I'm on the right path, on the right way. So let's
okay. So let's open up.
Yeah, let's open up the question. So I have many things to say, but I would like the people who are here present, Raj, Mary Scholl, Hatimi, Silvina, Isabel, Neil Arevalo, Patricia Falla, Jessica Cernaque, Raúl Castillo, Isabel Vargas. Well, you are free to open up your microphone and Rosy in Lima. So if you want to start expressing your opinions or your questions, just open up your microphone and make your question or comment. Hello, who wants to start?
Me, Jaime, Roxana from Lima, Peru.
Hello, Roxana.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Monica. Thank you very much for all this intensive session, this intensive part. I think this is one of those videos that I will need to listen again to have the opportunity to digest all this information, which is really useful and important. First, for all of us as human beings, and then for our learners. The humanistic part is always the very first thing, more than the cognitive or the knowledge. The knowledge is something that we acquire. The humanistic part comes with values, and as you've many times mentioned, emotions. It's a filter that we have to allow situation has a capacity. It's because there is a barrier or a wall that blocks this process. And through the, as you said, and through the emotions and through the feelings and the factors that block this communication, as much as we know about it, the better the communication will be. So this is something that I really do agree and appreciate and thank very much, because that is something that not many people mention. Most of the time we are in a hurry with technology, with artificial intelligence and all that stuff that has put aside the human being that we are. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Roxy. I agree with you 100%. Thank you. Thank you so much for that very insightful comment. Anybody else? Or Monica maybe wants to say something. Anybody else?
Hey, Jaime. Hi, Monica.
Hello.
Drive
just want to say a quick
carefully,
hello.
Mary.
I know I'm waiting in line right now, and I just want to, I have to get offline. So I just want to say thank you so much. I loved your ideas, Monica, and great to see the resources. And Sabona, Monica. And thank you so much.
Thank you, dear Mary. Thank you for joining us.
And hello to everybody.
Yeah, thank you, dear Mary. Keep on driving safe. Anybody else, please?
Take care.
Take care. Anyone else, please?
Yeah. Monica, thank you. I'm appreciating what you're sharing. I think that, as Mary said, Savona, starting with that just brings it alive that I see you. You know, and you modeled that to let us know that you see us and we see you. So, and then the whole conversation is letting our learners know that we see them. And how do we demonstrate we see them? There are so many ways in which you showed us how to help them see that I do see you, not just the words, but by demonstrating by listening. There are so many things you gave us that are gifts that if we could just embrace them in everyday learning, we are just as much a learner as we are educators. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. I have a last thing to share, which is a little present that I prepared for you, precisely connected to the Sawabona concept that Raj, you are mentioning.
Before you do that, dear
Anita,
Monica,
yeah,
give
yes.
me just 1
Do you have a
minute.
question?
Something that you mentioned, Raj, correct me if I'm mistaken. Judgment, no judgment. Something that I learned in Costa Rica. I see you, but I don't judge you. That I think that is marvelous. The difference between
And this, Jaime, yeah.
Go on.
No, go ahead. The difference
Yeah,
between
go on, Jaime, because that's a very
between
important.
prediction and anticipation. I was checking Google and it says prediction, a statement about the future based on our facts or evidence. And anticipation is subjective, act which prepares us for something to happen. Then be careful of the predictions we create on our students' minds. That's wonderful. And also in our family, in our friends, on our couples, even on ourselves, right? And finally, an emotion takes you to thinking, and your thinking takes you to learning. Wow. So I've been learning a lot today because I was thinking and I felt happy and I felt excited. And something that I didn't know, well, there are many things that we don't know, but a classroom charter, I checked Google and it says it describes how a class would like to feel throughout the year. So that is, there are, as Rosie's in Lima said, we have to watch this video again to understand little by little and digest and learn if we want to be not only better professors, but better human beings. Now, time for you, dear Monica, because I know that your family is waiting for you to have lunch in a few minutes.
Can I just
Yes,
add one point?
please,
to what
go on, dear President.
No, I think, Jaime, what's important is I see you for who you are, not for who I think you are.
I am a
Right.
Yeah. Raj,
Right.
you will resonate with these last words that I prepared for you, because you will listen exactly to these words, and this is like a very short poem based on the concept of Sawabona. And I wanted to give you this as a little gift before we leave, before we finish. And the poem goes like this. Sawabona, I see you. I see you through eyes that transcend my own sight, that transcend the visible and the material. I see you. I see you behind the walls you've built and the masks you've worn. I see you. I see you beneath appearance and expectations. I see you beyond your conditions and beyond your circumstances. I see you as more than what you've done or what has been done to you. I see your humanity. I see your light. I see the radiance and truth of who you truly are. I see you. Sawabona to all of you.
Thank you, and 100 times thank you so much, dear Monica, for allowing us to think, reflect, and the most important, Silvina wrote here, without emotion, there is no learning. And we have felt lots of emotions today, listening to you, thinking about what you have said. And thank you so much, because Monica, every time I ask you to present something, you are there. I don't know, this is your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th presentation.
I don't know. I should count them back. I'm not sure, but 4th, 5th for sure.
Yeah, many of them. So thank you so much, dear Monica. And time for us to say goodbye and say thank you to Monica. please feel free to do it. Thank you so much, dear Monica. God bless you this 2025 and hope to meet you in person. I would like to go to Argentina for FAAPI conference in September.
Oh, you let me know.
If I go, I promise I will go to visit
We'll meet.
you.
That's a fact.
Okay,
We'll
I'll be there
in
then.
person. And I will give you a very tight hug.
I'm saving money now. Thank you so much. So anybody, please just feel free.
Have a great day.
Please, let's express our gratitude to Monica and the final words today.
Monica, you're welcome to come to Canada.
Oh, I would love to. It's in my bucket list, Canada. So I'll let you know when I go over there.
What about me,
We can
Raj?
also meet.
Oh, of course. I've always extended that to you.
Talking about emotions, I felt jealous.
Very good, because
no need for jealousy. You're all welcome.
The most important thing about emotions is naming them and sharing them. So very good, Jaime.
I don't want to hurt you, Jaime.
I'm learning. So anyone else, please? Isabel, Silvina, Neil, Jessica, Isabel, Cynthia, or Dilcia, or Roxy.
Good morning, Jaime, Monica.
Hello, Isabel Vargas.
How are you? Well, I was listening to Monica and our dear colleagues. It was really an interesting and amazing topic. And I think we should first think as not only students, also educators. First, we should consider our emotions. We sometimes focus on our topics, our contents, but we left apart the emotions. And that's what we must consider first, because we are human beings. And that's the most important for us. We should consider our emotions, our thoughts, our projects. Sometimes we forget that our dear students have own projects. They think, or maybe we think that they are lost, no? But also we must think that they are human beings, and we must consider their needs, emotional needs. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you, dear Monica, okay, Clarice, and Jaime. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you, dear Isabel Vargas. Beautiful words. Thank you so much. And Roxy, I guess the secretary of our association, the final words today.
Sure, why not? Well, it's always has been a pleasure to listen to you and Monica, and to learn from and to refresh things that are always expected to be there in front of as part of our life, not only as educator but as human beings. This part of emotion has been placed in society, in our community, in our families, in our environment, wherever we are. It's not a matter just that, as you mentioned, I see you because I have the possibility to see you, but I see what is behind that, what is inside, the innate part of the person. I feel you. When we put, as you said, the knowledge that I see you with my eyes and I feel you with my heart, it means the impact and the enhance of the boundaries and the strength of the feelings in all our areas. So this is something a lot more, what I said, not complicated, but complex in the sense that it has to be as a lifestyle. As soon as thank you very much, Monica.
Thank you, dear Roxy. Beautiful words, ideas, and recommendations. Before, Monica, you say goodbye to all of us, please remember February the 23rd, in 2 Sundays, We will have Rafael Cervantes, Marisol Guzman, and Alberto Moreno from TESOL. They will be talking about the art of teaching English beyond technique, the impact of social emotional learning in ELT, Mónica, and enhancing ELT through content creation. Okay, so time for you, Mónica, to say goodbye to us.
Thank you so much to this beautiful community. Thank you for the opportunity, and sawabona to all of you.
Sawabona to you. Bye-bye.
Ditto, ditto.
See you in 2 Sundays, and goodbye, everyone. And thank you,
Thank you.
to
Bye-bye.
all the
Thank you
people
so
who
much.
were listening to us and following us in Facebook Live. Goodbye, dear Mónica, Raj,
Bye.
Isabel,
Have a great
Roxy,
Sunday.
Jessica,
Thank
you, thank you,
Irina,
thank you.
Air,
Thanks
Dilcia,
a lot.
Isabel, and everyone in Facebook Live. Bon
Thank you.
appetit, Mónica.
Thank you. Have a great Sunday. See you.